everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Today we're going to be doing, I have lots of finished things to show you, and lots of whips, and lots of things you haven't seen in a long time, I think. We also have lots of giveaways to do. I have some prizes to give out and a new giveaway to announce as well. So I'm just going to jump, no, I'm not going to jump right in, because I also wanted to say that I'm going to do a timestamp for this one to where the actual knitting content starts, because I feel like there's going to be not a lot, but there's going to be some amount of giveaway, knit along stuff. And if that's not your jam, then skip ahead. I'll tell you when the actual knitting stuff starts. Anyway, so now I'm going to jump right into the giveaway stuff. If you have watched the podcast before, thank you for one thing. Or follow me on Instagram. Also, you may have noticed that I am running a knit-along. And this is a year-long knit-along that I've been doing since January. Basically, you can post a photo of anything to do with Pip and Pin and use the hashtag Pip and Pin KAL18, and that's an automatic entry for this draw. And what I do is every month I draw a little prize, and then at the end of the year I'm going to have a big grand prize, which I'll talk about in a minute. But first I wanted to share the prizes for September and October, because I got behind, which I kind of knew was going to happen, and if you know me at all, you also knew was going to happen, but I did catch up, and so I have the prizes ready here for September and October. So September's winner is wallflower.knits, who's Chrissy. So congratulations to you. And she was sharing a couple photos of her Mount Pleasant tee, which was her very first garment. So that's always really cool. Something about the Mount Pleasant, I think because it's so small. I mean, it's like a little crop top. It doesn't really have, it's just a very simple drop sleeve kind of shape. I've been noticing a lot of people using that as their first garment pattern, and really loving the way that it turns out, and that makes me really happy. I don't know, it's just really neat. So you can go and, if you want to see what it looks like, it's really cute. You can go check out wallflower.knits on Instagram. And then for October's winner, it was handmade by Jess B, who is Jess. Hi, Jess. And she shared a photo of the Ironwood hat, and she was one of the testers for that. So she got to knit it a little bit earlier than everyone, but it's my newest pattern on Ravelry. Yeah, so what I am sending you, I'll contact both of you on Instagram. But what I've got for you are these little guys, and yes, you're both getting the same one. I don't think it's gonna. No. I tried. Anyways, they are just little stitch markers, glitzy little stitch markers that I made. And I figured it's getting close to the holiday season, so a little bit of sparkle is always fun. I think I'll probably, I made a bunch of these, I don't remember when I made them, but then I kind of forgot about them, and then I found them again, and I realized how much I like them, so I've started using some, and I really like using them. They're just like little, kind of like loops. They're not wire, they're wire, but they're plastic wrapped wire kind of, and then they have kind of a bead on the end. Anyways, I've been using them myself, and I'm really enjoying them. So I think I'm going to make November's draw not the exact same as these, but I want to make some more stitch markers, I think. So there's like a 75%, 80% chance that November's prize will also be a set of stitch markers, probably a little bit different than that. But anyways, yeah, and since it's starting to get to the end of the year, I wanted to talk a little bit about the grand prize, because I've been thinking about, I wanted to put together a special package and like have really great stuff. A year is a really long time. And I think I've just felt like the grand prize needs to be something grand. It needs to be really great. And earlier in October, I was a part of, I took part in Fibershare, and that was really, really fun. I had a lot of fun putting the package together. I had a lot of fun receiving a package as well, but but I really liked putting something together for somebody and like kind of stalking them a little bit on Instagram and kind of figuring out what they might like. And so I think for the grand prize, I'm going to do something like that. Instead of putting a package together and then sending it and not potentially having someone not like it, but not everyone, has the same taste as me. So I want to at the end of the year draw the grand prize winner and then find out what they like. Maybe I'll send a little survey or something, to see what kinds of things that you like, and then I'll put together like a Fibershare package with some yarn and some other goodies and fun stuff. And I just think that would be really fun. It would be fun for me to put together, and I think it would be fun for whoever gets it, because then it's a little more personalized as well, which is always nice. And sorry if I'm all scratchy. I feel like I sound scratchy. I don't know. Over the weekend, I knew it was coming. Over the weekend, I got sick because last week Justin and Georgia were sick, and I just knew it was coming. As soon as they started to feel better, I was starting to feel sick. And yeah, so we pretty much spent the whole weekend. We went out once. Like we went on a, not out, we went to the grocery store and stuff too, but we went for a walk one day. It's been beautiful weather, so we didn't want to just like sit inside, but yeah, my house is a mess. This weekend everyone was sick, and I'm still kind of getting over it, I guess. The next thing is I have the winner of the Strand giveaway to announce. And that was the giveaway that I did on the last episode, and it was for the I Want to Make Beautiful Things tote bag and a copy of our new book Strand, and then 2 skeins of Cascade Magnum. And the winner for that is Connie Moore. So congratulations, Connie. And my question was, if you could only knit one thing forever and ever and ever, like one item, what would it be? And she is like me, and she is a sweater knitter. So yeah, Connie, please contact me on either Ravelry or email or Instagram. Yeah, Ravelry, email, or Instagram. Find me somewhere. Send me a message with your name and your address, and I'll make sure that those get to you. And then I have another giveaway that I want to do this episode, because we published 2 books, so 2 giveaways. So for this one, I'm also going to be holding it on in the comments. So I should have thought this ahead of time. Okay, so my question this time is, do you knit gifts? Are you a present knitter, or do you find it too stressful? Personally, I do and I don't. It depends. It depends who it's for one, and it depends like what it is. I don't know. I don't usually like to. I don't count on my knitted gifts. You know what I mean? They're kind of always an extra. And I've actually started a gift box, which is fun. So now I can kind of pull things if I need to, which is always nice. So yeah, to enter for this giveaway, leave a comment on this episode. Sorry, I'm still kind of spacey, so I'm going to blame post-sickness on this one. Leave a comment below telling me if you are a gift knitter or not, and why or why not. And you could win the following. First off, of course, is a copy of This Must Be the Place. And this is another of our new books, and this one has 7 knitting patterns in it, and these are all from I did a year where I I published a pattern a month, and that was my challenge to myself. My personal challenge was to publish a pattern a month, and they were all kind of inspired by places in British Columbia. So we took the most popular of that year of patterns and put them in this book. So we have Quesnel, Antland, Main Street, Mount Pleasant, Mara, Cranbrook, and Porto. And so a little bit of everything is in here, and Katie did a really great job with the layout and making everything look really nice. I could not have made it look this good. So yeah, you will get a copy of that. It also has a download code, so you can download a copy to your Ravelry library. And then this is just something, I don't even know where I got these. I think it was when we first kind of came up with this idea, and I just saw them and I got them, and I was like, I'm going to do a giveaway with these. And they're just little cocktail napkins with all of the provinces on them in, I just like typography as well, so. Yeah, just you get a set of 4 cocktail napkins, and they are made in Vancouver, but I seem to have lost the thing. So you'll get some cocktail napkins. You will also get a tote. This Must Be the Place. So it's the same style tote as the previous giveaway. Just a simple, light canvas tote. And these were screen printed by our friends Locomotive, who are out in Mission. And the next thing that you will get is a skein of Sweet Georgia Superwash DK. This is mink, and it's kind of a purple, like a muted medium purple with kind of gray. I really like it. I almost kind of want to keep it, but I'm not going to. It will be a part of this package, and the majority of the patterns in the book are garments, sweaters or shirts or things. So this can be used to make the Porto fingerless gloves. There's enough yardage in a single skein to make those, or whatever. You don't have to make that if you don't want to. Yeah. So you get the book, the tote, the cocktail napkins, and the skein of Sweet Georgia yarn. Leave a comment below telling me if you are a gift knitter or not. But yeah, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the weekend before. I was over at, I was doing a trunk show at 88 Stitches, and I had a lot of fun there. It was pouring rain. It was a miserable day. So if you didn't get a chance to get out there, I do not blame you. I don't particularly like driving in the rain or going out. So I don't blame you if you didn't make it out, but thank you to everyone that did make it out, and to Sue for hosting me. My samples are still there if you want to go and take a peek. I might be picking them up this weekend. I don't know. I haven't talked to Sue yet, but they're there at the moment, and they'll be there until at least Saturday. maybe later. So if you wanted to go and check them out, you can go and see them there. I have samples from Strand and This Must Be the Place, and some of my newer patterns like Carson and Persica and Lilium and some other ones. I think that's for reals it for non-knitting stuff. So should we talk about knitting now? So I felt like I was just killing on my whips today, or the past couple weeks. I don't know what came over me. I just decided that things, I feel like probably because I wanted to start a lot of things, like I'm thinking about Christmas stuff and other things, so I wanted to start a lot of projects. And for me, I don't like having a lot of whips on the needles because I don't know, I just don't like it. I live in a really tiny house. I need things to be like done. So usually I have one or two big projects, a pair of socks, and then maybe like a shawl or a sweater or like something else, like a hat or maybe. But I felt like I just had too much on the needles. So I have 3 finished objects to share with you today. And the first one is this guy, what I'm wearing. And this is always so awkward. Do I stand up? Probably not. I'm not going to stand up. I'm going to put some photos here, right there, that I took on our hour outing we went on over the weekend. I'll put some photos of it up here because you'll probably get a better idea of it anyways. But this is my Harvey pullover by Hannah Baker, and it was from an Interweave magazine from a couple years ago. I think like 2016 or something. I'm not sure. But I'm in love with it. I've literally been wearing it for 4 days. Not constantly, but I have worn it every single day since I finished it, since it's been blocked. It's basically just a sweatshirt, but it looks really cute. I feel like, do you remember in magazines, I'm sure they still do this, I just don't read magazines anymore, but they're like, oh, here's your outfit for your casual fun weekend trip with your boyfriend, and then it has flat lays of outfits. I feel like this would be the sweater that you bring on the cute weekend vacation with your boyfriend. Right now I'm wearing it with my skinny jeans and my motorcycle boots, and I feel like a boss. It's a little bit not cropped. It's just not. It's about hip length and very roomy. It's just drop shoulders and there's lots of room, and then kind of fitted sleeves, and yeah, you can see it's definitely gonna pill a lot, but that's okay. I knew that when I got into it, so I'm okay with that. I really liked the pattern. I kind of started and stopped a lot on this. There was a lot of, this sweater it's been a journey. I will say that. I originally got the yarn when Justin and I were on our honeymoon in Philadelphia. And I think I got 4 or 5 skeins. I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do with it, but it was kind of before I knit a lot of garments and knew how much yarn I needed for the type of fit that I like. I like things to be oversized, and so I think I got 4 skeins. So that wasn't going to be enough to begin with. So I knew when I finally figured out that I wanted to get this yarn or use this yarn for the sweater, I knew that it wasn't going to be enough. The yarn, by the way, is the Fibre Company Cumbria in Scaffold Pike, and it's really soft. I feel very luxurious in this in this sweater. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel really put together. I feel like a grown up. Anyway, I was talking about the yarn, but I knew the 4 skeins wasn't going to be enough. And so I think I was at Valley Yarn or something, and I saw some, and so I bought a couple more. And then when I started like winding the yarn for the sweater and getting everything ready, I realized that the 2 skeins that I had bought were Cumbria fingering, because the only difference on the packaging between Cumbria and Cumbria fingering is this teeny tiny little writing that says fingering. And like, I'm sure if you hold, well, no, not even if you hold them, because the fingering and the DK, they look quite similar. Like, I don't know, if you're just like, you would really have to look to tell that they were different. So I had 4 skeins of this DK and 2 skeins of this, I think it was less than 4. Oh yeah, because I used some of it for swatching, and then a mouse ate some of it while we were camping. So long story short, like, if you've watched, I've been working on this sweater for a long time. So since, I don't know when I started it. Before the summer for sure, because I brought it like with me camping and stuff. I also wasted 2 days because I, was a genius and decided, I know the stitch pattern, I don't need to look at the pattern. And then I continued to rip out and reknit and rip out and reknit the same rows like 8 times over 2 days. And then I finally looked at the instructions. But when I finished the body, I started working it in the DK, of course, because that's what I was supposed to do. And then I was just going to pick up some more DK yarn and, whatever. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm not making any sense. I'm really sorry. I knit the body of the sweater. I didn't want to put the sleeves on, or I didn't want to start the sleeves because I knew that I didn't have enough of the DK to finish them. So I went to Valley Yarn and I said, hey, do you have any Cumbria coming in? And they said, yes, soon. So I said, okay. So I just put this aside and was going to wait for the DK to come in. Meanwhile, I had a trunk show at 88 Stitches. All of my sweaters are in Langley. So I didn't have any sweaters to wear anymore. So I just really wanted it, and so what I ended up doing, finally deciding to do, was double up some of the fingering and knit the sleeves. And that was a really long walk for a small sip of water. So the sleeves are actually, no one will be able to tell except for me, but the sleeves are actually slightly denser than, like, the body is very drapey and very lovely, and then the sleeves are just a little bit denser. And then the cuffs I did with the DK just because that's what I felt like doing. I did modify the pattern quite a bit, because I was reading through some of the projects, and a lot of people had said that the armholes were just really big. And especially because I think I was making the second to largest size, and I don't have large arms. Like, I just have a large, big body, So my arms aren't very big, but my body is. So when I was knitting the body, because it's bottom up, so I just made sure to knit an extra inch up so that the armholes were it would have been 2 inches smaller. And then when it came time to do the sleeves, I just made them up. I did not follow the pattern because my gauge was going to be different, and my armhole was different. And I think I ended up casting on, like, I think it was more, or like less than half of the stitches. So if you could imagine this sleeve, like, it would have been down here, and giant and denser. So yeah, I'm very, very glad that I tightened everything up. I did them bracelet, like kind of bracelet length, because I thought that's what I wanted. But now I realize that I didn't, so I've just rolled the cuff up. I'm not going to re-knit it or anything. I really like them rolled up, so I'm just going to leave it. Sorry, I just keep finding little pieces to pick off. Because it was either that or like add, because they came to right here, and because they were fitted, like it just wasn't quite the right length, and it was the same, like if I had my arms down by my sides, the cut, like the end of the cuffs and the hem of the body were at the same place, and it just looked a little silly, so I bullet up the cuffs. I don't know, that's what I do with my with most of my sweaters anyways, so but yeah, I'm going to live in this thing forever. If you want something super comfy and super easy, make this. Find it and make it. It's actually in, I shared with you the new book that I got, 100 Knits, which is a book from Interweave, and it has 100 patterns from their magazines and stuff, and this pattern is actually in there as well. And it's a couple of mine too. The next finished object I have is also something that I started a long time ago, I think in August or something, right when it came out, I think. But it's this guy. This is the Harlow hat by Andrea Mowry, and it's just a simple brioche kind of slouchy beanie. So there's this side, and then you can flip it, and it's that side. I'll show you. Does this yarn look familiar? Because it should. So the gray is, again, the Fiber Company Cumbria fingering. So I match. And then, I'll flip it so you can see it a little better. This green and gray kind of stripy bits, that is Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. And I don't know the colorway because I lost the ball band. I'm not sure if it had a colorway on it or not anyways, but that was a prize that I won from 88 Stitches. Did a Christmas, we had a Christmas party a couple years ago, and that was part of my prize that I got for because they do they do knit-alongs every year, and I think that year was a sweater knit-along. Yeah, so that was fun. This brioche pattern was really fun to do. It was, again, I kind of got halfway through. I think I did the body, and then I'm not super, I don't do a lot of brioche, so I don't know the decreases and stuff. And I think once I was done the body, which is the easy part, I just didn't want to sit down and learn how to do it. So I didn't. So it sat for a very long time until I was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do these decreases now. Which I think I did an okay job of. They are not perfect. There's, especially on this side, which is the right side, technically, you can see, a couple places where, I obviously did it the wrong direction. But when you flip it this way, which is the way that I like it anyways, you can't tell. And you probably, unless you're me, wouldn't be able to tell anyways. So I think this one, I like it. It's really cute. It has a nice amount of slouch in the back. But I think this one is going to be... I think this one is going to go into my gift box. I just don't think it's something that I will wear very often. But I might make another one in... I think it's just the green that's not really my colors. Plus, I don't want to match. Apparently, I'm going to live in this sweater forever, so that's going in the gift box, and it'll go to someone eventually. The third thing that I finished is another hat, And I showed you this last time, but it's done. This is the Sun King hat by Jenny F. And the yarn I've used is Midnight Craving Sport in Curtain Call. And this was the leftovers from my Carson sweater. And this was a test that I did for Jenny F, which was really, really fun. I don't usually get a chance to do things like that, and I had a little break in my own stuff, so I figured, why not do something quick and fun, like a little hat. I really was intrigued by this braided cable that she's used. The crown decreases are really nice. Like, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's like this circle of these slip stitches going around, and I think that's really neat. This one is also going to be in the gift bin. I was possibly gonna keep this one for myself as well, but it's just not, like, it's a nice beanie. And I don't like beanie. What? I don't like wearing beanies on me. It's just I like having that little bit of slouch on my hats. So that one will go in the gift bin, and maybe I'll give it to George's teacher or somebody for Christmas. I'm sure, oh my goodness, I'm sure somebody will really enjoy it. And this is a new pattern on Ravelry, so you can go check out the Sun King, it's called. And the designer, Jenny, has a podcast as well, and she does it with somebody else, but I can't remember. But they are Tricities Knits podcast. You can find them here on YouTube, and they're actually doing a knit along for this hat, and then I think the other girl is a designer too. I don't know this for fact. I'm kind of just making things up. But I think the other girl is a designer as well, because they're hosting a knit along, and there's two hats. So there's this one and then another one. So you can go check out their podcast or their group on Ravelry, and you can find more information about that knit along that they're doing. And I think it ends November 30th, if I read that correctly. Okay, so time for some whips. This one is my Christmas socks, and this I've been carrying around in my little vinyl project bag that I made. And there are a couple of these in the shop. So if you go to pipandpin.ca, you can find some of these little zippered bags, and they're just black lined. They don't have pockets or anything, but I've really liked taking them to the park because I can just hold them on my wrist, zip it up halfway so the yarn doesn't fall out. Anyways, self-promotion. The thing that's in here is probably what you're interested in, and they are my Christmas socks, which are almost done. So I have one and a half socks already. And this yarn is Cascade Heritage Prints in the Holidays with a Z colorway, which is really Christmassy, very festive, self-patterning yarn. And this is my first time I went and got the Fish Lips Kiss pattern on Ravelry, which is $1 and worth it. There's the Fish Lips Kiss heel. Because I've been having problems with the fit of my socks recently. Afterthoughts just do not work for me anymore, and I don't like the way, I just don't like the way a heel flap and gusset looks. So my friend Sam, who is Hand Me My Knitting, she does the Hand Me My Knitting podcast, she suggested this, and I really like it. It's very stretchy, and it seems to fit really nicely, because what happens is right here it gets really tight for me, and that isn't seeming to happen. It's it's not happening with these ones. The only thing, the rest of the pattern I just kind of did as my sock pattern that I do, which is 64 stitches on US 0. And I've done this one in a 3x1 rib. The only thing that I was confused about with the pattern, but not really confused about, but there's a very detailed thing about how to how to trace out your foot and find this certain point in your foot, and you do it one way, and then she gives you this math thing to figure it out, and to double check it, and she's like, oh, they should be super similar. Mine were not at all. Not even a little bit. They were probably at least an inch apart. So I don't know what I did wrong, but I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of just left it. I did this before I really started knitting the socks, because I wanted to, if I was going to do these socks, it's a 7-page, 8-page pattern or something. I was going to do the whole thing. So I did my cardboard foot cutout, did all the lines, and I was going to kind of figure out my mistake or which one I should be using later. Because she said, oh, you kind of do it at this certain point, where your ankle bone is, and then there's this math thing to double check it, but it didn't work. Mine was so much less, and I couldn't figure out anything that I was doing wrong. I feel like my feet were just shaped weird or something. I don't know. But then once I started knitting them, because I knit them top down, I don't really understand what that line is for anyways. Because it's supposed to be where you start the heel. But because you're working top down, you can kind of just start it anywhere. So I just didn't really get the point of doing the cardboard cutout if you knit your socks top down. I get it if you knit them toe up, because then you need to know how far from the toe to the heel to get the right stuff. But yeah, if you're doing top down, I just didn't get it. So if I'm missing something about that, please let me know, because I was very confused. I mean, I went ahead, of course, I just went ahead with it anyways and did it, and I really like how they turned out. But that part of it just confused me, so I don't know. Seriously, if I missed something or let me know. But I would suggest, if you haven't tried them before, definitely going and getting that pattern from Ravelry, because it's easy. It's super easy to do, and you can memorize it. That was a very key, because she also went into detail about where she got the idea and how she came up with it and things like that. And one of the things that she wanted was to make a heel that you could memorize how to do, because every single time, I don't know how many times I do a heel flap and gusset, I always have to look up how to turn the heel. And this, after I did this first one, I think I did have to look at it just to see, just to double check, that I was doing things right, and I was. So it's, I pretty much knew it by the time I was at the second one. So that was nice to have. It's so easy to memorize. I'm excited to have these done for Christmas, and Georgia has requested a pair as well. So I'm going to be making, I'm going to have tons of yarn left over, so I'm going to be making her a little pair as well, which will be cute, little matching socks. And then I asked Justin if he would be sad if we had matching socks and he didn't. And he's like, well, it would be cute if we all had them. So I may have to make him a pair too. But maybe I'll do his, I don't know, Maybe I'll do his in DK or something, because these giant feet, those will take forever. They will not be done for Christmas, especially when I'm also working on this for him. Yeah, segue, that was so good. Not a lot to show here, but I'll talk about it a little bit. This is going to be a Field Henley. This is a pattern by Lindsay Inouye, and it is like a Stansfield Henley. It's like a he wears them to work pretty much every day in the winter. It's a big woolly with kind of buttons here, and he wanted a nice one. So the pattern is written for a women's shape. So it has it tapers in at the waist and then goes out at the hips again. Justin's not shaped like that. He is more typically man-shaped with the triangle. So he has very, very broad, big shoulders. I mean, he carries around ladders all day, so he has very big shoulders and big arms, and kind of a tapered waist. So I am knitting the pattern, kind of, but I'm also doing whatever needs to be done. So I'm kind of altering it a lot as I go to make it fit him. So yeah, this eventually it will be a thing. And it's boring. This yarn is Briggs & Little Sport. It's a woolen spun. It's not bad yarn to work with. I love the fabric that it makes. Like right now it's a little bit stiff and scratchy because it hasn't been blocked. I did make a swatch and block it, and it softens up a lot. So it makes a really lovely, lovely fabric. But knitting it is rough. Not that it's hard. It's just slow and gray and stockinette and big. So this has been kind of I just constantly have it sitting behind the couch so that if I sit down to watch something, I make sure I put a few rows on that before I start working on anything else, or else it'll just never get done. I am hoping to have it done for Christmas, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. I was recently watching Voolenvine Podcast that she does, and I think she's in the same boat right now. She's working with some Peace Fleece, which I also have some of that. It's on, and she says it's, one of her friends said it was like carving a sweater, and it's true, because you really have to, like, with superwash you just go, but this you really have to like put your needle in, pull you really have to do it. I couldn't imagine doing this on wooden needles or bamboo or anything. You have to have the metal needles to work with this yarn. It will get done eventually. I told Justin, like, this is how much I love you. This sweater, all my love is in there. And then the last thing, because I can't just work on that. And the other thing, the Lilium tea that I'm making for myself is also just stockinette right now. So I haven't really been working on that a lot. And then the gray sweater I haven't really been put much into either. And I just wanted to do something fun. So I did fiber share, and I got a lovely skein of yarn from Ashley, and something that I've been wanting to work with for a long time, and it is Cedar House Yarns, and this is the Irish Yearling DK in Noble, which is beautiful, beautiful, like forest green tweed. And I was eyeing this up at Knit City, and then I didn't buy any, and it was my Knit City regret. and then it came in the mail. So that was really cool. And what I'm working on is this guy. And this is going to be a cowl. It is the Birds and Ships by Caitlin Hunter. I think she designed it for Indie Untangled, and then it's just been released as a pattern for people to buy on Ravelry. So I purchased that when I saw it on Instagram because I just thought it was really cute and easy and nice. I don't know. Just something fun. That's what she had written the pattern for fingering weight yarn. And I did not want to I'm not putting any more fingering weight yarn onto needles. I'm not doing it. Everything is fingering right now. And while I love, it is probably my favorite weight to work with, when you have 3 sweaters, a pair of socks, and the Harlow that I was working on was also fingering. And I have a new thing that I need to cast on that is also fingering. No, I wasn't going to cast on fingering. And I really wanted to use this yarn. I wanted to use this yarn for me because I think it's beautiful, and something by my face. Because I kind of have not hazel eyes. I have blue eyes, but they're blue sometimes and gray sometimes and green sometimes. So if I wear green close to my face, then more of the green comes out. And that's nice sometimes too. So this one is just for me, and it's really it was a really easy pattern to alter. If you're thinking about maybe altering it for DK. I did put notes on my project page on how to do it. Basically, because you work it flat, and then you join it in the round. So I just worked it flat until it was the circumference that I wanted, and then that's when I joined it in the round. And then I just, you keep the lace pattern. And I really like how you can see that there's garter and stockinette and this little lace panel going down, and then at the end you kind of do this 2x2 rib, and then she's got a tassel on it as well. And in the pattern it's like, oh, you don't have to do the tassel if you don't want to, but I'm all about the tassels. So that one will probably be done very quickly too. This is my treat for when I put some work on Justin's sweater. Anyways, I really have to go pick George up from school. So thank you all for joining me today. Sorry about my rambly mess. Hopefully, I even made show notes this time so that I could read things. Could you imagine if I didn't? Think about that for a second. Anyways, thanks again. Don't forget to enter to win a copy of This Must Be the Place and the tote bag and the yarn by leaving a comment below, and make sure you are a subscriber, because you do have to be a subscriber to win. And thank you so much. If you like this episode, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and maybe I'll see you in a week. Who knows? Bye.